Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday here at the Progress Report. I'm your host, Dion Sage, here with my guest co-host, Nate Banks. How you doing, Nate?
I'm fabulous, Dion. This is so exciting. I love the show. I love what you're doing. I love the audience that you're reaching, and I love the messages that you're putting forth. It truly just is an honor, and I hope I don't. I hope I don't mess it up.
I'm pretty sure you won't mess it up. You won't mess it up.
Thanks,
But
babe.
we do have a wonderful show for everyone. We have a good friend, Jennifer. I hope I'm saying the last name right. I always get it tongue tied. Ruok. I hope I said it right. If not, she'll get me later. I know she will get me later. A lot of fun. We're
She
gonna have a lot
will.
of fun. Great conversation with her. But before we do, you always know I have something to talk about. Let's talk about this. This week, the Government Services Administration have started the process for Joe Biden to transition. Although Commander-in-Chief Donald Jackass Trump
Ugh.
still will not concede the presidential race. He says, and I quote, "We will prevail." Prevail what? We're still trying to figure that out. You're losing Republican support. The Republican Party of Pennsylvania, Michigan, as well as Georgia have all declared and said, you know what? You've won. You lost the election. Joe Biden won. So you know what? If your own cronies are saying it's over, Donald Trump, it's over. It's done. It's finished. You know, I was watching a clip the other day, and it was back when Donald Trump had won the election in 2016, and the
A
Democrats
day that I would
continually
like to
tried to
forget.
bring things on the floor to try to put injunctions against Donald Trump being president, and then Vice President, who was also the president of the Senate, Joe Biden, told the Democrat Party, his own party, that it was over. So I would love to tell Mr. Turtle himself, Mitch McConnell, why don't you do us all a favor, okay? And
Oh
tell your
God.
party it is over. It's done. It's finished. Like, totally checkmate. I mean, right on. Joe Biden is number one. Anyway,
Wow. I did not know that you had that much to say, Dion.
I have a lot to say about the name. It's just at this point, it's absolutely ridiculous that
It
he
is.
will not just be a gentleman and say, "I
Well, number
lost. It's
one.
over."
Number one, he has never been a gentleman from the start of his campaign to now. He has never been a gentleman. This is a person who has bragged about very ungentlemanly behavior through his entire campaign and presidency. And to think that he is powerful enough to rewrite American processes and systems is repulsive, much like everything else that he's done in the past 4 years. But to think that one is as powerful that they could just be like, nah. Like, I realize that we've been trying to do this election process, but nah. Like, that's just further proof that there's zero ability to do anything properly.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: at the end of the day, Donald Trump is ushering in a regime of what we would call this kind of dictatorship type of style in politics. Because if you really take a look at how his followers are, and don't get let's be real, Donald Trump could pass away tomorrow. Trump supporters, they're here to stay. They're going to be here for a while. They're going to be here for generations. They're going to be here for my lifetime, your lifetime. I just hope and pray that they just dwindle down and get smaller and smaller. Like that group gets smaller and smaller.
They
and smaller
won't. Queer people and people of color and indigenous people know that people like this do not dwindle, do not fade. Right? They get older and sometimes, let's hope, fall down a flight of stairs. But we know that this is not like,
I,
oh, Joe Biden's
well,
going to save it.
if that's the
No,
case,
it means that we
if
must
that's the
buckle
case,
down and we must systematically reinforce ourselves to work through Trumpianism horse shit.
I agree. You know what else should happen? I think they should legalize throat punches.
Like, come
There's a
on.
couple of Trump supporters I like to throat punch. I'm not going to say their names. I might get in trouble, but there's a couple that I would love
While
to
I
throat punch.
don't condone violence, I definitely condone vandalism. Oh, I'm never. Oh, that I. Wow.
No,
Okay.
I mean, is it vandalism if you're making a political statement? For example, like Christopher Columbus statues being defaced. We over here in
Good.
Providence on Elmwood Avenue every year for the past 3-4 years, that statue has been defaced, and at this point, just remove it, take it down, put it where somebody wants. They might want it in Johnson or North Providence. I don't know. I know I don't want to see it when I go to Subway at Elmwood Avenue. Okay, that's it. That's
Yeah,
just
I'm
about it.
all set glorifying a colonizer, murderer, and European supremacist.
Listen to this here. Listen to this here. Trump
Tell
supporters
me.
are threatening to boycott the Georgia runoff election.
Like, why? Like, people
Their
like
whole
that,
argument,
eh?
is if they don't do a recount, and mind you, Georgia's already did a recount. They've already done a recount, and they're saying if they don't do another recount, then they're going to protest the runoff election.
So, not only have they lost once, then they lost again. And now they're saying, do it one more time so we can all watch them lose a third time. I'm not good at math, okay? And I can only count to 7. But
Let me tell you something. The
this
Republican
is
Party, the
aggressive.
GOP, is more saltier than a box of saltine crackers.
You damn right. You damn right. Go ahead. Keep counting and keep counting and keep counting and keep counting. You
So you
wrong.
can
You
lose again
lost.
and again and again and
And
again and
again.
again.
And
Like
me
seriously.
personally, I'm happy watching them lose again and again and again and again. But like, I also know that there's like important political work to do with, and this is all just ways like nobody, like clearly the pandemic has knocked these people out of work, that they have so much time on their hands to let everybody know, nah, I'm gonna sit here and demand another recount. Like, can we just let the children have their like temper tantrums, and then we'll do like a group timeout while the country keeps moving? I don't know. That
I mean,
works with me when I was in
I'm
childcare.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a god. I'm not a parent, but I'm a godfather of. I have about 5 godchildren. I don't
Oh my
allow children
god.
to throw temper tantrums. I don't allow them to throw little temper tantrums. You know, at the end of the day, I tell them, all right, that's enough. Okay, let's go. Let's get this all
That's
together.
enough.
Very
No
stern,
more.
very
We're
stern. You
good. We're
know,
done. You've
and
had your feelings. Now it's over.
somebody needs to do that to Donald Trump, who's been throwing a 2-year-old temper tantrum his entire life. When he doesn't get his way, he throws a temper tantrum. You know, let's be
Or he
real. This
gets
is a man
bone
who said
spurs.
that President Barack Obama wasn't born in this country and then was proven wrong and still has not apologized for talking all the trash to President Barack Obama.
Donald Trump is not going to apologize for anything, because the thing with sociopaths and the thing with psychopaths and the thing with people who are just completely okay not adhering to any kind of moral standard is they truly believe that they're correct. And they're
That's the sad
not.
part.
I don't know. I'm tired. I got this shirt. It came in the mail
I'm
today.
tired. Anyway, what is so this week? This week is let's change the subject.
Please.
This week is
I've
and
aged.
I'm going to say Indigenous People Week, and a day of giving thanks instead of Thanksgiving. Not because not to be political. I just
Remember, the
always believe
pilgrims were
that why we
murderers.
call this
Next.
Thanksgiving, and that why the whole Pilgrim story and all that stuff. I always question. I actually, I was that kid to get kicked out of history class every time I questioned Columbus or Pilgrim.
I never got kicked out of class, but I definitely did my own research.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I got kicked out of class because I would raise my hand and say, "Well, didn't this really happen? Or how did someone discover something if people were already here, there? You know?"
Fun
So,
fact. Fun fact. Not fun. Horrible. Disgusting. Biological warfare. They would put smallpox in blankets and then, as peace offerings, give those smallpox blankets to indigenous folk, which is um, repulsive.
mm. But so what are you
But go
doing
ahead,
this
enjoy your
week?
mashed
I know.
potatoes.
Um, what did you say?
No, I said that. I was like, no, but go ahead, please enjoy your mashed potatoes.
What? Well, I'll be honest. I'm not mashed potatoes. I'm gonna have sweet potatoes, but
Heard,
that's
heard,
I'm gonna have sweet potatoes, collard greens,
heard, heard.
turkey.
When are you
We're gonna
inviting
have
me over? Cause
we're gonna
come
have
on now.
dressing. We're gonna have dressing. Grandma's gonna make some potato salad. Uh, um, Pies, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie.
A bitch loves pie. A bitch loves pie. Let me tell you something. I am irrational as the number, and I also love pie.
Let me
I
tell you
don't care
something.
what shape it comes in. I don't care if it's got a top crust, a bottom crust. I don't care if you
Let me
crimp
tell you
it.
something.
I don't care if there's a design. It doesn't need to be fancy. Tell me it's pie. I will put it in my mouth.
So I like. Don't get me wrong. I like pie. I like pie, but I'm a cake person. I'm a cake person.
Too
But the
much.
funny thing is, a lot of people.
Too much.
I get criticized because I don't
Good.
like
You
carrot.
should.
I'm not a carrot cake fan.
I like carrot cake. Okay. Of the cakes, carrot cake is like top tier.
Oh my goodness! You just said you don't even like cake, and you're telling me that
That's
carrot
false.
cake is
No,
top
I
tier.
said that I would prefer pie.
Uh, I, Listen, no carrot cake for me. No,
Listen, I'm non-binary. I've never made a decision. Okay,
it's too nutty.
same.
I'm not big on carrot cake, but I like coconut cake. I like Death by Chocolate. I like angel food cake.
Huh,
Um, horse
huh,
food cake. Give me a
huh.
nice glass of milk. But hold on. There is something else I did want to talk to you about. So a federal judge struck down the conversion therapy ban in Florida. For people out there viewing, uh, conversion therapy aims to change people's sexual orientation or gender identities, and it is prohibited for
Attempts and
minors.
falsely attempts.
We know it falsely attempts because let me just say this: there's no amount of therapy you can do to get me not to look at Michael B. Jordan and undress him with my
Stop
eyes.
it.
I'm
This is a
sorry.
professional show, and I'm not trying to go there about Michael B. Jordan right now. Because
Listen,
it'll be
listen,
unprofessional. This
listen.
is a public
Okay.
Discord, okay? I'm tired.
I'm pretty sure Michael B. Jordan's not watching it, and he's gonna get a couple of more fans just by us
Oh,
saying
I
that.
hope
Like,
he is, because
literally, listen. Google Michael B. Jordan shirtless. Do yourself a favor.
listen,
Anyway,
I
um,
fully endorse. Fully endorse.
but I mean, this at this point, uh, 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 this should be something of the past. Why are we still talking about trying to put people through therapy to change who they are, who they were destined to be, in my belief, and who they were destined to be. I just find it.
Well, it's exhausting. And I think one of the things that this story proves is that even in a backwater place like Florida, that they can see the humanity of somebody. This judge, Circuit Judge Barbara Martin, appointed by Barack Obama, 10 out of 10, is able to use that power and use that humanity to look at a practice that is destructive, harmful, and oftentimes fatal to
Right.
undo the systematic oppression that a system and a process and a practice like this is. So, Judge Barbara Martin, cheers to you, babe.
Yeah. And with that, Nate, I love talking to you, but we have to go to commercial. So Everybody go refill your beverage, get you some popcorn, and tuck in under your favorite blanket because we're going to be right back. Hello, everyone. We're back. I'm here with my good friend Nate Banks. Nate,
Hi, Dion.
so glad you're here. Well,
I'm
here on
so
the
happy to be here.
show. Physically, I would love to hug you and
I
squeeze
know, I
you,
know. This is as
touch
good as it's gonna
you, and
get.
all
A, because
around.
it's cold and I have my blankets in my room. But B, there's a pandemic.
Right now, that's true.
I think we have a
Unfortunately, the
guest.
pandemic. Yes, I know. I'm going to get to the guest. Give me
Oh,
one
all
moment.
right. All right.
I'm going to get to the guest. Okay, wait a minute. Last time I checked, it says D Sage on the title of it. No, I'm
You
joking.
right, but I talk too much, and you know that, baby. I'm so sorry.
So we do have a wonderful, wonderful special guest. So Jennifer Rock is an activist and leader who calls Warwick home. A mother to 4 children, she has been fighting to give a voice to the most marginalized communities for many years. Growing up in low-income housing and to teenage parents, she was taught to always fight for those that are often ignored. With her degree in healthcare management, she understands how the benefits of Medicare for All could help families like her own that might have premiums and struggle to pay medical bills. As a board member of many different organizations, Jennifer continues to amplify the needs of the people and not the corporation. A quote
Huh.
from her, open quote, I'm fighting for those who have decide who have to decide whether to buy food or medicine, for our veterans who are often forgotten, for our children who deserve a better environment in schools. I'm fighting to change not just the script, but those who are writing it. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome my special guest, Jennifer Rourke. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. So, everyone, quick story about Jennifer and I. So Jennifer and I met at it was the Washington Park special election. We're at Washington Park Community Center, and for those of you out there that know me, family, friends, you guys know I can get spicy. I can get spicy with my mouth. My mom always told me, "Your mouth is gonna get you in trouble, boy." Well, that day I, opened my mouth, said something. Then Jen, we had a little back and forth, but by the end of the night, we were walking out of there. I had gained a friend and someone to trust in this political climate that we have, and been following a lot of the work that you've been doing. You are just you are a rock star in our state. Can I just say that?
Yeah, thank you. I don't
You
see it
are
that
you
way, but thank you. Thank you.
you are a rock star in a state. And I have to ask you this question: was there a defining moment in your life that made you decide to because you had ran for office? What made you to decide to run for office? What made you decide to get completely involved in all of it?
Okay, so not many people know I have a 22-year-old son. And when my son turned 18, he came out to myself and my husband. And he said, Mom, if I don't have a family that happens naturally, certain states are going to block me. So what are you going to do to fix it? And me being the mom that I am, I'm like, don't mess with my baby. Like, okay, like, what do I do? And then I took a look at the political landscape in just my local area. And I realized that the person that was my senator did not represent me. And he damn for sure didn't represent my son or anyone like him. So that's how it started. And I was in the middle of a surrogacy. And when I made my official announcement, I was 8 months pregnant. And that was it. I was off and running. And I haven't looked back since. So.
Yeah.
Wow. That is incredible. So just for folks out there, we have never met, but in that one answer, I'm like flabbergasted by how devoted. That's such like that's in my head that is filed
Listen,
under like family devotion. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I like that the joining of political power and we'll call it the I don't know, I'm making things up as I go, but the love of family and having the love of family and the political power become joined, like making a combination. I don't know what I'm
There
saying,
was something
but
so crucial. There's also something so crucial, I think, about what your son has said to you. If if states block this and I can't have my own family, and that speaks to many volumes because in our community, we've dealt in the past and even currently sometimes we deal with rejection where we end up finding making our own families. But also one of the things that I've always wanted to do, I'm 33 years old, I'm getting older, starting to try to settle down in my life and things like that, is what I want to be able to have my own family, have my own children, things like that. Yes, I have young twink gays that call me, hi dad, how you doing, dad? Which
go
is
ahead,
fine.
say it real.
What?
Does any of them call you daddy?
No, they don't call me daddy. I don't allow for that. I'm nobody's daddy. but
Mm-hmm.
but see, you got me blushing over here now.
I do.
Anyway, but no, but that I love that he was able to recognize that and say, no, I want to be able to have this, mom, and be able to trust in his mother to say, mom, what are you going to do to help me? You're my mom.
Exactly.
Like that's amazing.
It's the family. That's the beautiful part of the why is I don't have that. I found it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for you to have had experienced the inverse and be like, okay, how do I not only make it good for my family, but how do I add the political power of making it good for as many people as possible? And in fact, you are a founder of the Rhode Island Political Cooperative, which I have heard so much about, but from different sources, and people have. I'd like it from you. I like it from you. How did you get that started? Amongst all of the other projects that you have going on, clearly a powerhouse, but in such a short amount of time. It takes me 25 minutes to figure out what I'm gonna eat for breakfast. I can't imagine making having the wherewithal to make all kinds of decisions and make it as successful as you've made it in such a short amount of time. So walk me through the I don't have a political cooperative. Now I do have a political cooperative. Walk me through that process.
So I didn't win my first election. I actually didn't win my second one either. But the first one, I realized that there weren't people out there to help me. So I'm gonna go back. I was 2 weeks postpartum when I started knocking doors.
Yes.
And I reached out to the party and I asked for trainings, can you help me with this? How do I do this? And it was no, no, no.
And I'm sorry, which party?
The Democratic Party.
The Democratic Party.
Yes. So they weren't able to guide me through anything. So I learned. And then Janine Calkin, who's currently a senator again, thankfully, is a friend of mine. And after the election, I called her because she lost her election in 2018. And Melanie DuPont, who ran for state senate, and then Matt Brown, who ran for governor. And we said we need to get candidates in a room and just figure out what went wrong and what was right. And we just put it into action. And we realized that our legislators have failed us as people. And what we need are people that
over and over and insurmountably, yes.
Yep. So we need people that look like us, people that understand what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck. We need people who understand what it's like to have to pay $900 a month for insulin or for therapy, for hormone therapy, things like this that they don't understand. And we need, the everyday person, the woman who is a single mom with a kid who is working every day, working 3 jobs to make ends meet. We need the waitress. We need the nurse who is currently...
We need real people.
The people who are out there doing the work. And it just became this movement. And I was very intentional with Janine and Matt to do recruiting of candidates because we wanted to make sure that people were represented all across the board. And it was the goal for us was to make sure that we had at least a 40% BIPOC community up there or candidates. And we did that, always working. And that's how it came to be. We did policy together. We sat in my house. There were 25 of us in a room and we worked on policy and we talked from different angles, and that's how we came to be. Yeah.
I think that's how it has to be now. I mean, I remember back in 2010, 10 years ago, I was campaign manager for Dion Sanchez, who ran for city council. And, we had zero help, no direction, anything like that. I didn't know how to gauge voters. I didn't know about Smart Van. I didn't know about anything. And we ended up pulling it off to win a primary and then winning a general election. And what I did was, kind of said, I'm going to get my own people. I'm going to find my own people to help me run this campaign. And nobody doesn't have to help me, but I'm going to do what I have to do. We lost in 2014, but I was very proud of the work that we did in 2010 because it made me realize that even though, I grew up with the Democrat Party, but there's a separation in the Democrat Party on who wants to help and who doesn't want to help. Speaking of which, you ran against state Senate Majority Leader Michael McCaffey, who had been in office for 25 years. Can you tell us what you might do differently if you can go back and start
over? As far as my campaign, goodness, that's a good question. I would probably bring more of his voting record out there, so people can see. I think my biggest hurdle, one, I am a Black and brown woman running in a majority 93% Caucasian city. But there are so many people that are willing to learn and to listen. And I think I would have brought more of the policy out there to say, this has been happening for 20 plus years. We are struggling. Our schools are failing. Our children are suffering. Our elderly don't have housing. We're all living paycheck to paycheck. And this man has a home that's worth $500,000 and it's just an extra home. and there's no relation to the people of Warwick. Like people in Warwick, we don't live like that. And I think I would have brought more of some of the things that he's voted on that prevent us from benefiting and bettering ourselves. But other than that, I knocked so many doors. We reached so many voters. I don't regret any of that part. I just wish I would have brought more of the policy out. So.
I think policy is very important, and I always argue that. Even again, when I got back involved, started getting involved, and I always would say, challenge them on policy, challenge these politicians on policy. It's nice to dress things up, and they go to the events, shake hands, kiss babies, give the long speeches. But when you actually hear the speeches, like, and I'll never forget, a city councilman who's no longer around anymore, he said this is the speech of most politicians in Rhode Island. He says, you'll ask them a question like, what about our school system? Like, our school systems need a lot of work, but I want to tell you of this story about this dog. And what's so special about this dog? What's so special about this dog is this dog has 3 legs. And every morning I get up and I see this dog with the 3 legs, and they gotta scurry over to get their food and do this. And I'll never forget when he said that. I started watching a lot of the established politicians in our state, and they basically give that speech. They basically give that type of oh well, here it is, but there it goes
to
again.
Ask those deeper questions, like, how are you going to make it better? What are you going to do to make it better?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And these deeper questions, it's difficult sometimes to answer. At least for me, I remember any experience that I have is dealing with food distribution, and people were always during the food drive. How do I do it? How do I get involved? I don't want to leave. I don't want to go anywhere. There is a pandemic. I don't want to put myself at risk. Right? How do I get involved? And so there's a bunch of people that are watching this right now, and you are I don't know, comforting to listen to. I just feel like, oh, you tell me to do whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Right. And so I'm thinking right now, like, how do I, like, they asked me to do this an hour and a half ago. Right. So like it is an honor to listen to you and hear from you. How do I get involved? How I used to say this to folks who are organizing the food. How do I work for you? Right? How do I get involved? What would you say? You said you had 25 people in a room doing policy. It's COVID. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
this is pre-COVID.
Yeah, right. How do I get involved? How do I start?
So it's hard. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to deal with a bunch of negativity? Are you strong enough to deal with that? And then you say, if you can say yes, then you look at the people around you. Look at your reps, look at your city councilors, look at your state reps, look at your senators, and just ask them, or ask yourself, are they the people that really represent me? In the past, however long they've been in office, have they fought for people like me? And if you say, like, damn, they left me out in the cold. I've been suffering since March. I don't have food. I barely have money to pay rent. And they are having these events. They are not legislating. This person does not represent me. And then call your friend.
How,
we'll talk about it.
I'm going to ask, this is not on the script. How emotional is this like getting down to it, getting like no more events like Dee was saying, and no more speeches and shaking hands and all this posturing, pandering, but how emotional is the drive? I love the answer. I love the question. Are you ready to deal with a lot of negativity? No, I'm not battery tired. But like, how talk to me about the emotion attached to the work that you're doing.
So I was raised by.
I will say this: from working behind the scenes, it is emotional. You get very emotional when you work behind the scenes.
It's hard. So I was raised by a very strong Black mother, very, very strong, And I was taught that life is always going to be hard for you. You just have to learn how to deal and keep moving. So when you're knocking doors and people are calling you nasty names or you get the nasty emails, I take it in. I always smile. And when I leave and I walk into my comfort, which is my home, I leave it in the shower. So my husband knows, my kids know when I have 3 songs playing, they're 3 gospel songs that I play, and I get in the shower, close the door, I have a good cry, I wash my face, and I walk out, and I feel good. Okay.
Follow-up question, if you don't mind me asking.
So self-care.
What 3? Because I am a gospel. If you want, I mean, I'm a man of faith, and I love gospel music. What 3 gospel songs? I just have to ask that question.
So the first one is the Mississippi Mass Choir, or no, Georgia Mass Choir. Come On in the Room.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of my grandparents. I grew up every Sunday we had church music on. Yolanda Adams. Oh my God, what is the name of the song? Oh goodness, it's her song. Oh goodness.
The Battle's Not Yours?
Nope.
In the Midst of It All?
Nope. See, I'll make me pull my phone out. I'll get back to that one.
That's all right. If it works for you, it works for you. It's your own private song. We don't need to know.
No, it's because it's a great song. And then the last one is Tamla Mann, Take Me to the King.
Yeah, and that's sometimes a good one too.
I just need to get it out, and I feel better after.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I've managed and worked on fields on campaigns, and I with you doing the political collaborative, I'm pretty sure you've had to kind of work behind the scenes on each campaign that you had to support and things like that. And people see the candidate a lot, but the people that work behind the scenes, we pull our hair out. We have nights where we cry. We're banging our head against the window. We don't want bad news to get to the candidate, so we take the news first before we get it to the candidate. So hats off to all you guys that have been working behind the scenes on the campaign.
It's a lot. But it's "Open Up My Heart" by Yolanda Adams.
There it is.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So I'm gonna ask you this question. But before I ask you this question, I want to apologize to the Women Project. Last week when we had Tammy Brown on, I kept mispronouncing it. And I realized that I was doing that, so I kept saying Womex, and that was wrong of me. So I apologize about that, and I have been corrected, and I'm going to fix it. As all my friends know, when you correct me about something, I will try and work on fixing it. So, with that said, you are also a board member of the Women Project. Last week we had Tammy Brown on the show. Can you tell us about any coming projects this organization is?
Yeah. So there's goodness, there's a couple. I think the biggest one.
You can get your phone out again if you need to.
Yeah, there's so many. But the biggest one is safe. So reproductive rights is a huge thing. That's what we fight for, especially safe, legal abortion. And we're fighting for people who are on Medicaid. So the Hyde Agreement, we're trying to make sure that the people that receive Medicaid and Medicare, because you never know, are able to access abortions and have the means to pay for it via insurance, where the insurance would cover it. A lot of people don't know this, but if you are a pregnant person and you go to the hospital and you don't have the funding to pay for it, you can put an abortion on a payment plan. And if you miss a payment, the hospital will sue you. So you, as a pregnant person who that you can't financially care for this fetus, you go to the hospital hoping to get help. And in the end, they take you to court for a non-payment. So we're just trying to make sure that that pregnant people are able to access abortion services. So that's our number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. I'm just going through the list of questions that I have. No, talk about literally. This is all fabulous information. So, State Representative-elect Brandon Potter voted for Joe Shekarchi And very quickly afterward, the cooperative released a statement condemning him. Where's that? Like, obviously, it could be obvious to somebody who is entrenched and ensconced in the system of the process, but I am not. So, what is the condemning?
Okay, so as the co-op, we ran on a unified platform, meaning we're going to fight for specific things. And the big thing was we would vote for new leadership. And Shakarchi is not new leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And he made that pledge. He promised, because that's what, as a co-op, we are cooperative. We work together. And the night of the vote, he decided that he was going to do it. And that's not who we are. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. That was the whole reason why we were formed, to get in new leadership, to get in new voices. Joe is not a new voice. And he broke his promise not only to us, but to the people of his district, because he promised them the same thing. And that just does not fly. So we made the decision, and he knew it was coming. It wasn't a surprise. We explained to him, if you walk into that building and you say yes, we can't support your campaign any longer, because that's the promise that you made not only to us, but to the thousands of people that voted for you.
So holding the candidates accountable is like obviously like one of the highest priorities of the Rhode Island political cooperative, which I think is very important. You know as well as you know me. You've seen me in action. I'm all about holding our elected officials accountable, and if they don't do what we ask of them, as the people, as a constituency, then yeah, somebody else, the next person in line, you put them in, and get that moving. There's no way people should be in office, in my opinion, 20, 30 years, unless they're doing the work, unless they're actually really doing the work for the people. And quite frankly, Rhode Island's in one of the Rhode Island. We have some of the longest sitting state reps
and senators.
And to be honest with you, we still get the same results. It's absolutely the definition of insanity.
So
I'm gonna ask two questions because they kind of related to each other, and as kind of our wrap up questions tonight. So the Rhode Island political cooperative originally endorsed 24 candidates, 10 won their election. Is this more than you expected to win?
Ooh, so I was hoping all of us would win. That would have been fantastic. But for me, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't about really I can't say it wasn't about my campaign, but I wanted to make sure that everyone else got in before me. As long as they got in and they did what they needed to do, I'm very, very happy. The work never stops. It's still going. So yeah.
And
every day.
Question: how many candidates does the cooperative hope to field in 2022?
A lot.
A lot.
I will say enough to take a governing majority on both sides. I haven't sat and figured out a number, but I want all the seats, all of them. I want them all. I want a fresh.
Every seat.
Now we're gonna throw Nate's name out there. So you got one person right there. We're gonna put Nate.
All right, Nate. It's time.
Send me an email. At this point, bring it on. I'll put on my lipstick. I will do the work.
Yes.
And I think this question is very important. The Rhode Island Political Cooperative has 11 issues in its platform, but have only written 5 policies. We've had a lot of talk about policies. Why is that? Do you guys need more help? Do you need more people to come help write policies? Do you need more specialists? Do you need more time?
What do you need? How can we help you?
What do you need? Because listen.
The policies are there, but we picked the top 5. So when you have 25 people in the room, there are a lot of voices. And we just picked the top 5 and put them on the website to make it easier for people, because most people don't sit there and go through every single policy. We just want them to understand where. I said most people.
No, I was grabbing my tea and it was really, really hot.
Oh, I thought you were saying, "Woo, I read policy." Yes. But most people won't.
Sorry about that.
So there are 11. There are 11. I'm sorry to interrupt. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no, that's fine. There's more than I'll say. There's more.
So
Like there's everything from like marijuana legislation, to the doula legislation. We've worked on so many different things. I know our housing bill should be up there. Taxing the rich. There's a lot. There's changing the funding formula for
a
education.
concept.
Yeah. So there's a lot. So they're
Where
there.
can folks go to read this?
So if you go
I
online,
believe,
go ahead, go for it. Go ahead, Dion.
is it, hold on, is it www.rhodeislandpoliticalcollaborative.com?
It's ripoliticalcoop.com.
I was close. I know
You
we have,
had it.
hold on, it is, I know it is on, I believe we have it linked on our progress channel, because we've had Alex Kithis on here, we've had Charmaine Webster, we had everybody from Woonsocket on, Sierra Mack,
Brianna.
so
It was wonderful.
Beautiful.
Hopefully hopefully by some point we'll have all 24 from last time on the show so that we can prepare for so we can all prepare for 2022. I think that because we all have to prepare for 2022. That's a big election. Governor's race is up, lieutenant governor, every single on the executive branch, state senators, state reps, as well as city councils, everybody's up. For me, I live in Providence. Everybody's up 2 years from now, so we have a huge election ahead of us. So
make sure you
definitely get out there and follow.
Yeah, make sure you get your friends registered. I'm so sick of people saying they don't vote, and then they're the first ones to complain about something. Get them registered. When someone is 16, get them registered so that when they turn 18, they can vote. Like, reach out to your neighbors, drive them to the polling location, whatever you have to do, get people to vote because we need more of it.
That is right.
Yes.
That is right. So, Jennifer, I would love for this conversation to continue. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I'm so happy to have you here. Like, because I was like ever since that first conversation, I've wanted to have another conversation and I feel like we've had conversations, but through the work that you're doing, and it's like, again, very inspiring. I've spoken to a lot of candidates that they have referenced you, and you are, and let's be real. A lot of times, people in our communities that we represent, the people that are working behind the scenes don't get recognized as much, even though you're out in the forefront. Because I know I know you have you work on you've been helping with the legislation over here on the environmental bill and getting this thing out of here in Washington Park, all that stuff. So I know, like, again, I know your work, and I want to say on behalf of people in South Providence, thank you for pushing cleaner air here in Washington.
Shout out to Monica Huertas for being the lead on that. She is an amazing, phenomenal woman to follow behind. So shout out.
I know Monica's watching. I know Monica's watching.
So shout out to her. I love that.
She probably said, "No, he ain't sitting there. He better have me on next."
Yep.
Don't worry, Monica, girl. We got you. We got you. We got you.
I love this. Thank y'all
but
for
with
doing
all that
this.
said,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say thank y'all for doing this and for having me. I hate doing interviews. I like to be behind the scenes, which is odd because I'm a politician, and I have to be out there, but I prefer to be behind the scenes working. So, yeah.
You listen. This was a conversation that we had with an old friend and a new friend, right? And the information is not. This isn't one of the things that Dion said before I jumped on for the first time. This isn't a gotcha show.
Yes,
this is let's chat about it. Let's talk about it. Let's get to a common place of understanding. And for somebody who has, like, I live up all the way up in Lincoln, right? So yikes. So help, come on up a little north. We'll chat. Or
you guys can just meet. Or you guys, you can drive south. She can drive north and meet right in Providence.
I'll drive south, but the people in Lincoln and driving south. Anyway, thank you. This is wild, and I'm honored to meet you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
But we do have to go to commercial before Ken jumps through the Zoom and gets me.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. My producer, he's like, commercial? No.
No, that's exactly what he's like.
But yes, um so with all that said, Jennifer, thank you so much. And everyone, we will be right back after a message. All right, we're back. Nate, before we close out, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming in last minute.
Of
I really, really
course.
appreciate you.
Of
You
course.
are a true sibling. I love you so much.
I love you too. I'm so happy you're doing what you're doing. I want you to continue doing what you're doing. I want you to bring all those 24 candidates on. I want you to have these conversations. If you ever need like a debate host, I'm your girl, right? So listen, you said 2022 is a big year. I know. So
Yes, yes. Well,
I love what you're doing, and I thank
thank
you
you,
so much for having me.
thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We're trying. We're trying, and we're doing the best that
You're
we can.
succeeding.
And you know what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that at the beginning of this year, um, and not to be too transparent before I close out with everyone, it is a thankful week, and this is what I give thanks at the beginning of this year. I had taken 45 days to refine myself and redefine myself as a person, as an individual. And I've gotten to the point over the summer, with coronavirus, having to shut everything down, myself being silent,
Right.
also finding a faith based church that is LGBTQI affirming. I am so happy about that. And I'm just thankful that I feel that my creator, my God, has put people in place this year, to show me again what true friendship is and what true love is. And I want to thank each and every one of them from the bottom of my heart. I do miss seeing all of you. I miss seeing my producer Ken. I miss seeing Chris. I miss seeing Tina, Trisha. I miss seeing Taylor Neptune and
It's a
Jaden.
lot.
Jaden, I really miss all you guys. Seeing you guys from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. I love you guys. You guys are working so hard to continue making sure that we're getting this information out and doing what we got to do. So that's my closing tonight. I'm about to cry, so I'm going to wrap it all up.
Okay, get it together. It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, but thank you, thank you, thank you, and until next time. Good night, Rhode Island.